chances are if you're an RVer you have a propane tank and one on board, you know, not the external ones, the little 20-pound tanks you can get. But I would highly recommend, this is one of those things you don't really know you need until you start RVing, but this is a heavy-duty 4-port propane T. So basically it hooks up to your propane tank, and I'll show you how to do that here in a second. But what it does is it allows you to have, you can have an external propane tank so you don't have to break camp and go, you know, go refill your propane tank. You can stay longer at a place for boondocking and stuff like that. Or if you have a, if you want to run a fire pit or something like that, or a grill, this gives you a way to tap into your existing tank. So there's a picture of the tank there, but it shows you basically where that goes. But I'll show you how to install it. It's really easy, and what it comes with is, the reason why I got this particular one, because a lot of the cheaper ones will have real stiff hoses, and this one is obviously real flexible. So this is the one that would hook up to your onboard propane tank, and this goes to your external, like a 20-pound propane tank or whatever size that you have, an external tank. So you, and this one here is 12 feet. It hooks up to a grill or a fire pit, you know, a propane fire pit or whatever, different accessories. And this is the actual part that I'm installing. So I'll show you where it goes and how it fits on, but this is just a rubber cap there. But it's going to be really easy to install, and we'll show you how to do that. Tank looks like this, much likely it does. There's a regulator underneath here. This is just plastic, so you got to take that off. So that's what I'm doing now, but this piece is going to basically fit in here. So it's going to go behind this. So I have to take the cover off first. See, the warmer seasons there may be a wasp nest or something underneath here, but I could see an old one.
Oh yeah.
An old one. Been there a long time. It's kind of a challenge to get this off, but it's plastic, like I say. It just slides over it. So now this piece, first of all, I gotta turn the gas off right here. So that gets turned off. Make sure it's off real good. As you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but the propane is below empty. So turn this off. This is where you fill the tank, and you don't have to worry about any of that up here. So this was put in 1998. All your info is right there. Anyway, so now that that's off, whenever you undo these, you're probably going to smell a little bit of gas because there's still gas in the lines here, but don't worry about it. So whenever you're taking this off, this connection right here, this is the one thread that is not lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. It's the opposite. So you got to turn to the right to loosen it up instead of the left, because you'll be cranking on that thing and not understanding why it's coming off. But so right loosens it up. And like I say, you're going to probably smell some propane. I heard a little bit leaking out, but it's okay because it's in the lines inside the RV. Just don't spark anything out here. Obviously, don't be smoking cigarettes and anything with a flame. You burn your face off. So see this just goes in there, but so this new piece basically goes right here and then into there. But first I have to take off my little protective cap here. And you're not supposed to have to use any kind of thread tape or anything to keep this from leaking, but we'll find out because I have some soapy water to test it with. So basically, this just, you know, this come out of here, this goes in here, and this goes in here. It just all goes back together. So you got to remember, this is lefty. Left turns it, tightens it up. And I'm going to leave it to where this is on top, this big one, and the small one's on the side, because, you know, it just seems to make the most sense to me. And then this one goes right back into here. So you just make sure it's tight as it can be. Don't over crank it because it's brass. So brass is a little bit of a weaker metal, so you don't want to over crank it. So after you get all that on, what you need to do next is we need to turn the gas back on. But before we do that, I want to make sure I got my spray bottle ready with soapy water so I can check for leaks. So when you get your bottle of soapy water, you just, first of all, you turn it back on slowly. It's all the way on. And you just spray the connections with soapy water, look for bubbles. You'll see big, large bubbles forming if there's a leak. I might as well check all of them. I don't think I've ever had a leak back here, but it's not a bad idea. This is a regulator here, so this is dirty. I don't see any bubbles. You would definitely see this one doesn't have any gas that comes out with it open, because on this one you have to, it has a little rod that penetrates it inside there in order to activate it. So you don't really have to worry so much about that. That's just a dust cap really to keep the debris out. But this is the one here that's you know, if it's leaking, you definitely don't want it to leak, because if this cap is loose right here, then you'll leak your propane out. So clean off some of this stuff here. There's 20 years of grime in here. So like I said earlier, the main reason why you would want to do this, to put one of these on, is so you can stay put longer. So if you're dry camping, or if you're work camping somewhere and you're staying put for a whole season, you don't want to break camp and put everything back up just to go refill your propane tank. So this is a really good option for everybody to have, just to have it. And it's not that much money. I think this was right around $75 or $80 for this whole setup with the flexible hoses and everything, and it's heavy duty. But so whenever you go to hook up your external tank, this is the hose that fits on here, and this obviously comes with the kit. But so you want to make sure this is turned off. Because you're not going to be using this tank anymore. You're going to use your external tank. So make sure that's turned off, and now you can open up this and attach this to it. And this is 7/16 on this particular fitting. Yeah, and this is still lefty loosey righty tighty, the regular threads. The only ones that are different are these threads and these threads. You'll have to go left to tighten it and right to loosen it on this one and this one. But the other ones are all regular. So once that's off, then you take you want to keep these protective caps too, to keep the dust out whenever you're storing it or whatever. So just keep those in one place, so safe, where you know where they're at. The only downside to this hose is you have to twist the whole hose, because it doesn't have it's not a loose fitting. You have to twist the hose with it. And it's the same size, 7/16. So you're going to the right to tighten it up. And what I'm going to do after I hook this up, I'm also going to check and make sure that there's not any leaks right here again. And also on the propane tank, like I said, don't tighten it too much, just really snug. So I still don't want to open up the, you're always going to leave this closed now because you're not going to use this tank anymore, because clearly I am out of propane. We still have little fumes in there, but that's why we bought this whole kit. So, but I still want to make sure it's turned off, because you're not going to take an external tank and fill this tank back up. It needs higher pressure, and you don't even try that. It's something totally different. All we're doing now is we're turning off this tank, and we're going to use an external tank. So this is the other end of that hose, of this hose here. So you just take that protective cap off, and this is what plugs into your external propane tank, which we happen to have right here. So we bought one of these. It's like $60 or $70 in that range. But so because we didn't have one already, so now this is ours. We can trade it, I guess, or have it refilled anytime we go to a gas station that has Blue Rhino. But you just and this one is also, it's lefty, tightened to the left, so this is opposite threads as well. And it even tells you on the thing here, on the handle here, it says tighten to the left. So you just tighten it all the way up. And make sure this is closed, obviously, before you do that. So now I'm going to open it. Okay, I heard it going in there, so that's good. Just open it all the way up. And I'm going to take my spray bottle and check this for leaks, which I don't think it would be bubbling up if it was leaking, because it's the soapy water. And I'm also going to check this over here. So no leaks. So like I said, keep this closed at all times. And next, the only thing I have left to do is just to add this cover back on if you can. I mean, it's a protective cover in case any road debris pops up. This is your regulator. You know, you don't want this to get hit with any road debris or anything. So I'm going to try to figure out how to get this back on here. I think it's pretty straightforward. Just pop it back over it. That will probably just ride there because it's stuck on there, so I don't know about drilling any new holes or any bolts or anything. That's solid. But if you want to, you could drill a hole in there and add some bolts back in there to hold that down. But it's hard to get on and off, so I'm gonna leave it like that. So hopefully you learned something from this, and it could be helpful for you. Like I say, you can, when you get done with your tank here, you can just go indefinitely. You can keep going back to town and getting new tanks if you want, and not ever have to get up and leave. But if you learned anything from this video or it was helpful, please give us a thumbs up. And in the meantime, live in the sunshine.